I don't know if you can hear it or not. It's not rain.
Oh, the damn thing right here. Hell, even on blue it shows up as white.
It's bouncing off of things.
This was like, well, it wasn't as hard.
You can see the edge of the grass. It's cooled off in the last couple hours. And luckily the concrete here isn't froze, so it's not slick here yet.
It was slick on the way here,
But this is interesting because she says halfway between here and actually a little over halfway between here and Hillsboro.
1.5 inches of ice pellets on the road.
So, yay. Oh, somebody dumped that when I wasn't
I
looking.
did because it was over 5 inches.
I know it was over 5 inches.
I dumped it yesterday.
Before this shit started, we have 5.35, I think, for the month. And so much for having another dry day.
But the rest of the week's supposed to be dry.
So we will see what happens. Yeah, supposed to be dry. I'm getting pelted. My ears are being stung. So,
attitude!
could be a fun day.
Fun?
And we still gotta get fuel to the shop tank.
Why do you think I'm dressed in my snowsuit?
Yeah, she was putting that on when I came out of the little office.
Stupid me thinking the cows had eaten the rest of their hay and I was going to do that today.
Yeah, she was thinking about cleaning the feed barn. Yeah. Wait till tomorrow and they'll have it emptied and we'll do it right. Move the feeders out of the way and get everything cleaned up good. And they are just chomping at the bit because they're hungry. Look at that stare from that one.
Attitude?
Look at that.
That's for a normal stare.
She says, feed me, damn it. Feed me.
You can hear the baby. You're all right.
We have us a friend. Oh, we have us a rat in the trap, too.
He's dead, though.
Yeah, well, I'll give you one guess who probably killed the rat.
Right. You're all right, baby. I'm going to let you out.
So, we really, I'm not sure what that is. A weasel, a marten. I know somebody's going to tell me what it is.
It reminds me of a, what did we just say it was, Dad? It reminds you of?
Ferret.
It does. It reminds me of a ferret.
But see, I've never seen any around here.
I've never seen one before.
But a couple of weeks ago, like an eighth of a mile down the road, had one cross the road in front of us.
I'm gonna
and my
let you
first
go,
thought
baby.
was, it needs to come visit because they go after rats.
You're all right, baby. They're not going to get you. I'm going to let you go.
So, the fun part now is, we're going to let that one go so it can get some rats. And hopefully the dogs will leave it alone. So I think we're going to feed the dogs first.
Yep.
Somebody shut my light off.
Sorry.
And
you're all right, baby.
then we'll lock the dogs in the shop.
Yep. You're all right, baby.
And we will let this little bugger out.
I'll let you out, okay? You just got to give me a minute, okay?
So, I'm not going to make a pet out of it because I'm pretty sure it'd probably rip the living shit out of him.
Hell no. He's cute.
But there's proof. We got critters we didn't know we had.
You're all right, baby.
Blue's turning white. So is Ty. So is Whiskey. It just settled down. I'm not supposed to do this today. It's supposed to be nice today. I'm going to go back in here in the dark where you don't hear the radio in the background because I'm talking so you can't hear it, right? You can't hear it, you can't hear it, you can't hear it. Now we're far enough away. So our little friend, I mean, I know it's a weasel or whatever. I mean, there's so many different little critters in the same family. We let him out under here because the back of the feeder has a hole that the rats come out of. And the backside of that main cow feeder is old machinery pallet bottoms. A 4x4, I mean, like a regular pallet, but with no bottom boards. They're skids, so they're like 10, 12 foot long sections. And the rats love it between those big bales and the back of the feeder. So we let him out there thinking, dude, you're going to go find the rats. I had to tie the trap after I let him out. She took the trap back up front. Of course, you can smell him. I waited a minute. Didn't see him come back. He went in where I figured he'd go for the rats. I walked back up and get back to where Ty is, or was, up here by the door. And when I'm almost to her, she sees it run behind me, and we think it may have gone underneath there. I don't know if she could see under this trough or not, but it could be inside that because that's hollow and the rats going in through there. or it's underneath there. Either way, it's here and it knows there's rats. It did a number on that one. That one that was in the trap didn't have a freaking chance, so I'm good with that. Yeah, that tie's got her insulated on, because she's got a mower to clean up before we bring it in the shop. There you go, Nelson. She's out in the snow, ice pellets, and rain. She really needs a bath. She's a dirty girl. Yeah. Been meaning to fill the shop tanks for a few days before it runs clear dry. So get that done. Ty's got that mower half washed, and we get done with this and get it put away and get the skid steer out, pick the mower up and get the bottom side washed and get it in the shop and see what kind of mess we got to deal with. Hopefully we don't have to put more in the service truck to top off the shop tank. Hopefully it's going to be close enough. I just happened to think about that and thought, you know what? If I dump the air, we'll get more out of the tank out of the truck because it's to the back. You dump that back in 3 inches, that's that much more you can get out of the tank. So don't laugh because she's looking like one of those squatted Fords. Before it moves, it'll go back up in the air. Well, now it's 34 degrees and raining like hell. Figured I better check cows just because. Haven't been in here since we fed, and it's almost noon. Ty's filling the tank on the truck, out there getting soaked. But hey, I finished hosing that mower off in this shit while she was under a roof filling tanks. So yeah, mower's in the shop. We're gonna set it up on the sawhorses after lunch. Really probably should have put the pallet forks on to handle it, but yeah, I can lift it with chains. I ain't got a problem with that. So it and the skid steer in there where it's warm, and it's sitting on an angle, so hopefully, well, water doesn't run off, will dry off. I just let her out, and obviously she's already soaked. Good thing she's got her raincoat on. Oh, that was fun. Got done with lunch and the sun was shining and the wind was blowing and we needed to feed the steers and feed the 2-year-olds. Yeah, got half done. The rain's dying down now, but half done, and it just started raining. But it looks just like this the whole time. And the wind's blowing. So yeah, it's freaking cold. And obviously I finished getting the twine off that one while I was putting the tractor away. Now we're gonna go set a mower up on some sawhorses. I think we dodged a bullet on this. He said he could see it was screwed up. Well, it's actually not. They took short pieces, it's like 1/4 by 1.5 inches, and they're welded to the bolt heads, so you don't have to try to hold it. And you know, they'll just come around wherever they hit. It's supposed to probably not hit wrong spots, but I think the bolts are just loose. And that sucker needs a cross hole right there. There's no cotter key in it because the hole lines up right down under the castles. Ouch. See it right there. No way to get a cotter key in there. And I'm not gonna take that apart because that's tight. Like I say, he says they've had this thing for 15 years. And to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only one that's ever done anything to it. And I'll show you that in a minute. If I remember right, I think we put new bearings in the wheel. That's been a long time ago. And we had the wheel off. And I don't remember. I think it's probably just because it hadn't been greased, and what grease was in there was dry and it was stuck. But there is why I've had this thing in here before, because they literally ripped the front end off. And that's 1/4 by what, 2.5 angle. So there you go, modern manufacturing, and it's pretty stout. I mean, even the skids are worn, but they're still in good shape. And I don't know for what he does, if I'm going to bother messing with that pivot or not. I mean, if I fix it up right, he'll probably tear the tail wheel off. But there we go. There you go, Louie. It's made down there in Texas. American made. So anyway, I think what we're going to do, we're going to take a peek at these nuts. Tylen wanted to clean up around that one, and now's her chance because we're going to check the nuts.
You told me.
And now she says, no, I'm not.
So.
Bad thing about nylocks, they're usually not a very hard nut, and they'll mushroom on the bottom. And the guy was moving it, wiggling the box for me, showing me it was loose. And I think that one is still tight, actually. That one from here kind of looks like it might be mushroomed a little bit. I can't tell about that one. I think we're just going to tighten it up and send it down the road. Well, he said go ahead and fix that up, so get rid of part of the issues here. Bushing, so these are tight, so they're not banging because those holes are all wobbled out. Hopefully that's going to slide back in. Part I'm having a hard time is finding materials for here because I need to put a solid bushing inside here, and then we'll run a bushing through it. Sticks out both sides, so you tighten the bolt up tight, and then it will work. That's the piece I'm going to use inside there. I got to bore it out to whatever I need, but I got to find something to go inside it first. And she's messing with his driveline. It don't frickin' move.
It's supposed to move up. There's supposed to be a greaser in here, and I cannot.
She can't budge it. I think the two halves are tight together, and I got a feeling it might have a little bow in it, especially by the looks of the cover. Because I know he's, torn it off the tractor a time or two, and things only bent so far. So I take a slide hammer and hook up there and see if we can pop it out. Probably won't be able to do anything to straighten it, but we can at least try to pop it out and make sure it's greased, so maybe it won't take his shaft out of his tractor. But I still got to find stuff to make bushings out of. I probably should have tried the video, but I had both hands busy, and she was making sure that sucker didn't follow me. Took the chain through the yoke, hooked it to the slide hammer, and about 5 good hits, and it's loose. You can see how far out I got it. The outside of that's so full of grease, it ain't funny, so you kind of wonder if you ever got any grease inside it. But
like I said, it's really wet because of the water.
Reasonably sure. Take that out, we're going to find out that the shaft is bent, and depending on where it's bent, I might be able to do something with it, but might even be a matter of grinding a little off just so it'll slide, because if they got to slide very far, most of you know what that does to your shaft on your tractor. It takes it out of the conversation.
Leaves that shaft very quickly.
Yeah, the shaft goes bye-bye. Then you see whatever you had rolling past you, depending on what it is. She's giving me funny looks now, because it's all gunky. I'll apologize in advance. I didn't show you any of that.
It was my fault.
It's all her fault. We'll blame her.
Because I was busy.
I ended up helping her with the drive line. It is now free and moves freely and is actually straight.
And guess what?
Checked both.
It has grease on it.
Has grease on it now instead of caked on shit. This is our bushing that the bolt will go through. It's a little snug. I'm either going to turn it down a little more or it'll just pound it in. I don't care. It'll work one way or the other. Where this bolt is in, it gets that grease circle right there. And this will go in the end. It'll fit, trust me, but there's a seam right there, so I'm going to just cut a slot in this so it'll slide over it. Clean that up with a grinder, that'll go in good. Get some weld inside, and that leaves me a little room to weld in the oblong hole. The only issue I come up with is the closest drill bit I had was 7/8. It's oversized. But that's going to last a whole lot longer than that. Because the bolt will never wear. There's the new bolt, which is just barely long enough. And the next thing I have is like 5 inches too long. But that's where I'm going to leave it tonight, because I'm done. I'm tired. I'm sore. I'm done. So, thanks for watching, everybody. And hey, you know, like I said, this mower, I know what kind of abuse they've done to it. You know, because, like I say, I've fixed the front of it. I have fixed both of his 3-point arms on his tractor, because he's tore the shit out of them. And we got to teach him how to grease stuff. Good thing is, gearbox is full and the oil looks good.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to shoot out like a damn can shooter.
That obviously hadn't been greased for a while. All she did was wipe the water off. That is now greased and cleaned up. That'll go back in after we get that tube back on. And then it will get the shit greased out of it. Make sure it's greased good. And of course we'll grease the new greaser too. And I'm going to tell him he needs to invest in a grease gun if he hasn't. And if he has, he needs to invest in a tube of grease. I mean, yeah, he's got this and he's got the loader on his tractor. All he's got to grease, I'm sure. But
as much as they use this
if you grease it, and they use the piss out of this thing all summer long. So anyway, that's enough. That's more than a long enough video anyway, right? So with that, thanks for watching. Hope you all have had a good day and hope you have a great Sunday.